All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the garage. Back out here, we're gonna work on Jordan's car again today. Still haven't got the turbo yet, so we're just gonna go ahead and start hanging body parts on this thing. I got the passenger fender out. I already took the nut and spacer deal off of the antenna. Got all the hardware dug out. I don't remember where the short ones go. I guess we'll figure it out when we get there. And then I have the coarse threaded ones, which I'm not sure which ones those are either. We'll find out. Let's get right to it and let's get this fender hung on. And then once I get the passenger fender on, we'll grab the driver's side, stick that guy on. And then I got the bumper up in the rafter up there. I'll grab the bumper down and we'll stick it on the car, push it back a little bit, see what's going on with this rear diffuser, and see how far we get today. So plan today is body panels. We'll see how far we get. So let's get to it. So we're short some bolts. So we are short a couple bolts. We don't have red painted hood hinge bolts. All the bolts we got are painted to match the fenders already, which is a little bit off from obviously the very fresh red that the engine bay has been painted in. So because this red shows a little bit of fading, the bolts also show that same fading. Let me turn this light on here. Make it a little easier. See if the camera picks up better. There we go. So if you look at it against the red, it's not the same red because of the fading and whatever have you that's gotten into the clear and caused the paint to be the color that it is. It matches the fender, so we're going to use all these bolts with the fender just so they all match. And then I'm just going to use some black hardware, just some black bolts to put the hood hinges on. And then if Jordan wants to paint them red to match the rest of them at that time, he can. But at least at this point, he'll get the car together. So we're just going to keep on running through here. I do got to dig up a couple bolts for the bottom as well. So I'm going to need 8 bolts. They're all the same size, fortunately enough. But dig 8 of those up. I do have the coarse ones to go underneath. And then I can go ahead and kind of shift the fender around, see if I can get it lined up pretty good at the door, and then tighten that side down. And then once I get the front bumper set on, and I can put the headlights in and try and kind of set the fender at the front, so all that's taken care of, and then hopefully the hood will just line right up. We'll see though. I mean, I might have to loosen the fender and pull it back out, but at least loosening it and changing it at the front is going to be a lot easier than trying to do it at the back. So we'll get that on, we'll get the side skirt put back on, do the same thing on the other side. We'll get that bumper dragged down here and we'll set that guy on here, stuff the headlights in it, and see how far we get. So I ran into this on this side too. So if you look at this, you can see where there's a witness mark here around that washer. And then you can see another one. Well, if you look at this one, it's the same way, where it had 2 different sets of marks. So there's this mark here and this mark there for the other one. And if you look at this side, you can see the same thing as well. Might not be the easiest thing to see. Let me get a flashlight. See if I can show you what I'm talking about here. Hopefully the camera picks it up. Where to put my flashlight? It's on my toolbox. Where it's supposed to be. So if you look, you could see the ring where it looks like there's no paint. And then you could see another ring where it's actually gonna be, which is pretty square up under the hardware we got. So what I'm thinking is these fenders came from another car, were swapped to this car, and then they put the decals and everything on, and then they decided to take it apart and do what they were doing. So yeah, that's why, that would explain why we got a couple sets of witness marks from the hardware on that fender. I did get the antenna hand tight at least, and I got the foam stuck inside of the wheel well there. So there's a big piece of foam, which is actually that piece of foam right there. So that foam gets stuck in side of the wheel well here. We're gonna strap this fender down here. We're just gonna keep going. Another thing I noticed putting this together that makes me believe that these are from another car is the fact that they ground this out for the bolt. So they notched it out so they can get it to come over a bunch more. Makes you wonder what happened to the car. I don't know. As long as everything's straight when it's done, it don't matter to me. I think he said it's a clean title, so that's really all that matters. I'm just using the witness marks they had for the fenders, and everything's lining out pretty good. So got that fender on almost. I got to do the got to tighten the bottom ones yet just to finalize it. I got them snugged down just so I could shift it and it'll hold place for now, but it looks pretty good where it's at. I'm tightening the top ones up now. I'm gonna go down and tighten the one inside and then the two underneath. And then I got two more up under here that I gotta get bolts for yet. Or actually, they're sitting on the floor, so I just gotta put them in. But we're getting there.
One day soon, we got
this. Is this the equivalent of that baby's good? Wiggle the fender. Act like it's gonna fall off the car because I just tightened it. It'll stuff the wheel liners in it, I guess. Got some brand new ooglers. Roll the dice. I'm gonna say right side. Ooh, I was right. That's a pretty good guess. These things look good. No beams. I guess I can steal them from the other ones, but maybe as long as you got them. At least they give you their ring. Sometimes you buy these aftermarket ones and they don't fit the best. They get their own ring, and you gotta worry about it being loose or nothing. Let's see if it's the headlight and not the car. Huh. Got the, I was putting the bumper and stuff on, and the headlights didn't want to line up to the fender. So there's a pin, or a spot in the fender right here, where there's a pin on the headlight, that actually goes into, and if I see right here, which is this right here. So this little nipple that comes off the headlight actually pops into that hole in the fender. So if that don't line up, there's gonna be a gap on the fender and the headlight. We don't want that. So I got the fender loosened back up on the front of this side, put the headlight in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shift the fender over just a little bit more. We'll tighten up the top, we'll get that all squared away, get our body line true again, and then stick the bumper on, pull the headlight back out, and put the actual headlight that we're gonna use in the car. So just a little issue that I found with panel gap. That's the fun thing, trying to put something together without a reference point, but it is what it is. We can make it work. So I found out the issue that I'm having. There's a piece of the fender that's inside of here, and it's made for these two bolt holes that go up for the fender. So when I get those lined up and tight, it's kicking the fender out like this. So I got to get in there, bend that bracket back, and everything should square up. So I got this side put together though. It came out good. It's nice and tight against the fender. So you just got to expect that with the aftermarket gaskets. They never do really fit perfect. So that being you know, the thing, that's actually pretty close. Come out kind of nice. So anyway, this side's pretty much ready to go. Got to get a fog light for it, and then because it broke off, that one. This is the one that was actually on the car. So get a fog light for it. And I could button everything up on this side, but I got that light in, the 3 nuts are on to hold in the bumper, so I just gotta go in there and tighten those guys up, but we'll do that as soon as I get this fender issue taken care of. As soon as I get that fender issue taken care of, we can go ahead and put the bumper on for final install, put the headlights in, and then I'm gonna go in and tighten up the 3 fender nuts from underneath because I don't have the splash shield in yet, and that'll make it a lot easier for me to dig the fender, put the headlight in, as well as start the nuts with having the headlight out. So let's keep going. It's not as huge of a pain as I thought it'd be, being able to actually pull the fender out and get in here and work with what I gotta work with. So just got my flashlight so I can get it flat as I can, and then we can tie this thing together. Well, fenders and bumper on the car. The only downside is aftermarket headlight gaskets aren't the best. I'm gonna go around that perimeter and try and walk this out the best I can, kind of just like this. But it usually ends up being a pretty big gap right here because the OE headlights actually have a huge gasket that hangs off. I don't know if these are OE or not. Let me see. There we go. This one's better. So see how much gasket's there? This is an OE headlight. So there's a lot there that you can pick out and get the set on the bumper. So I'm gonna do the best I can with this one. We're gonna see what we can do, get them to fit the best we can, and go from there. So give me a second, we'll see what we can make of it. Well, unfortunately, that's as good as they get. And it's just because of the non-OE gasket. That's the typical aftermarket headlight fitment that you get. I mean, it sucks because they just look so good. And then you get that damn gap. But anyway, red car's got a face. Got headlights, got bumper, got fenders. I guess when I get back out here tomorrow, I'll work on getting the cowl in. The hood hinge, I'll get the hood hinges in, get the cowl set in, wipers and arms. And then I'll do the air dam under the front bumper. So we'll get out here tomorrow. We'll get all that stuff taken care of. And then we'll roll this thing back forward again. See what we got going on with this rear diffuser. Go from there. So I don't want to do everything tonight and let me not leave myself something to do tomorrow. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Definitely check out our Instagram and Facebook if you haven't already. The links are in the description. Give us a sub and follow if you haven't. Like the video. Leave a comment with any questions or any advice you might have for me when you see me struggling or trying to take care of this stuff here. But anyway, you guys have yourself a good one. Stay safe, and we'll see you at the track. Thanks.